This is our part 2 video on 9th class lines and angles chapter. In this video, we are going to discuss various topics related to pairs of angles. ఈ వీడియో చివరి వరకు చూడండి so that you will understand the concept well. Okay? Let us observe this figure. You have two angles here, 30 degrees and 60 degrees, right? These two angles, you can say that a pair of angles. Okay, observe this figure. You have two angles. One is 40 degrees angle and other one is 50 degrees angle. These are also a pair of angles, right? Can you find what is the sum of these angles? Here it is 30 degrees plus 60 degrees. That is equal to 90 degrees. Here it is 50 degrees plus 40 degrees. That is also equal to 90 degrees, right? If sum of a pair of angles is 90 degrees, then those angles are called complementary angles. Please note this. This is the definition of complementary angles. If sum of a pair of angles is 90 degrees, then the angles are called complementary angles. It means in this case 30 and 60 degrees are complementary angles because their sum is equal to 90 degrees. And here also 50 and 40 are called complementary angles because their sum is also equal to 90 degrees, right? Similarly, if I have one angle x degrees, then the second angle is going to be 90 minus x degrees. These two are also going to be complementary angles, right? Because x plus 90 minus x, then this is equal to 90, right? If you take degrees everywhere, then it is 90 degrees. So x degrees and 90 minus x degrees are also complementary angles. Understood? Let us look at this figure. You have 90 degrees angle and 90 degrees angle, right? You have a straight line and there is a perpendicular line or perpendicular ray starting from this point, right? You have two angles here, 90 degrees and 90 degrees. You can say that this also a pair of angles, right? Let us look at this. Here also you have a pair of angles, 60 degrees and 120 degrees. Do you find sum of these angles? If you find sum of these angles, this is going to be 90 degrees plus 90 degrees, 180 degrees. And here it is 60 degrees plus 120 degrees. That is also equal to 180 degrees, right? If sum of a pair of angles is 180 degrees, then the angles are called supplementary angles. Sum వచ్చి 90 degrees అయితే complementary angles అన్నాం. Sum వచ్చి 180 degrees అయితే please note that the pair of angles are called supplementary angles. Okay? So here 120 and 60 are supplementary angles. Similarly, if I have x degrees, then 180 minus x is going to be its pair, right? So this is going to be a pair of supplementary angles. X degrees and 180 minus x degrees are supplementary angles. Please note this. Let us solve a problem now. If measure of an angle is 62 degrees, then what is the measure of its complementary angle? మనకి complementary angles definition తెలుసు ఏమని? If sum of a pair of angles is 90 degrees, then the angles are called complementary angles. In other words, we have learned that x and 90 minus x degrees and 90 minus x degrees are complementary angles, right? So let me say that x equal to 62 degrees. X degrees equal to 62. So what is 90 minus x? That is going to be 90 minus 62, right? 90 degrees minus 62 degrees is 28 degrees, right? So you can now say that 62 degrees and 28 degrees are complementary angles, right? So if measure of an angle is 62 degrees, then measure of its complementary angle is 28 degrees. Please note this. Okay. Let us look at another problem. An angle and its complementary angle are in the ratio of 4:5. Then we are asked to find the angles. ఏమని చెప్తున్నారు? An angle and its complementary angle are in the ratio of 4:5. ఓకే, రేషియో ఏమని ఇచ్చారు? 4:5 అని ఇచ్చారు. అండ్ ద కాంప్లిమెంటరీ యాంగిల్ గురించి we have to recall. If sum of a pair of angles is 90 degrees, then the angles are called complementary angles, right? If I take two angles, then their ratio is 4:5 and their sum is 90 degrees, right? Let's say those angles are 4x and 5x. ఎందుకు 4x and 5x అని తీసుకుంటున్నాను? The ratio is given, right? That is equal to 4/5 అని ఇచ్చారు మనకి. So the ratio is 4/5 అంటే 4 into x divided by 5 into x అని రాసుకోవచ్చు. Now sum of these two, 4 into x plus 5 into x is 90 degrees, right? 9x equal to 90 degrees. It means x equal to 90 degrees divided by 9, that is equal to 10 degrees, right? Now the first angle we said 4x. 4x is going to be 4 into 10, that is equal to 40 degrees. The second angle is 5x, that is going to be 5 into 10, that is equal to 50 degrees. You see 40 degrees and 50 degrees. These are complementary angles because 40 degrees plus 50 degrees is equal to 90 degrees, right? So an angle that is 40 degrees and its complementary angle is 50 degrees. They are in the ratio of 4:5, right? Find the angles ante you have to say that the given angles are 40 degrees and 50 degrees. Got it? Let us observe this figure. We have two angles, right? Angle 1 and angle 2. You observe here. We have angle 1 here and angle 2 here. There is a difference between these two, right? Here if you look at, there are two rays starting from this particular point. This point is called vertex, right? Same is true for this one also. You have two rays starting from this particular point. Here, when it comes to the first figure, this is the point or the vertex, and you have two rays coming from that particular point and making an angle, angle 1, right? Similarly, if you observe this ray and this ray together coming from this particular point, that is vertex, and forming an angle 2, right? If you observe, there is one common ray. In this particular case, there is no common ray. Here, there is one common ray. Got it? Let us look at this figure. Here, I have the vertex. Let me call this as O. From O, there are multiple rays, ray 1 and ray 2 coming and forming an angle 1, right? Ray 2 and ray 3 are coming and forming angle 2. Ray 3 and ray 4 are forming an angle 3. Now if you observe, the vertex is common here for two angles, and here also vertex is common for three angles. Right? Let's note that. Here angle 1 and angle 2 have an arm and vertex common. Please note this. Vertex is common and one arm is common. Right? Here vertexes are different and arms are also different. When it comes to here, you see, when you observe angle 1 and angle 2, when you observe angles 1 and 2, they have one arm and one vertex common, right? The vertex is common and one arm is common, that is arm number 2, right? Similarly, if you observe angle 2 and angle 3, then they also have one arm and vertex common. Got it? A pair of angles having a common vertex and a common arm are called adjacent angles. Please note this. A pair of angles having a common vertex and a common arm are called adjacent angles. It means angle 1 and 2 in this first picture are adjacent angles, right? When it comes to the last picture, you see angle 2 and angle 1 are adjacent angles. Similarly, angle 3 and angle 2 are also adjacent angles, right? Now let us look at this figure. Here you have two angles, 120 degrees and 60 degrees, right? We have seen already these angles are supplementary angles, right? 120 plus 60. 120 plus 60 is 180 degrees. When the sum of the angles is sum of the angles of a pair of angles is 180 degrees, then those angles are called supplementary angles. This is what we have learnt already. But here, if you look at, let's say this is the vertex and this is the common ray for these two angles, right? The arm is one arm is common for these two angles. So that way you can say that these two angles are not only supplementary angles, at the same time they are adjacent angles also, right? When the sum of adjacent angles is 180 degrees, then the pair of angles is called a linear pair of angles. You see, supplementary angles అవ్వాలి అండ్ అడ్జసెంట్ యాంగిల్ కూడా అయితే కనుక ఆ పేర్ ఆఫ్ యాంగిల్స్ ఏమంటాం, లీనియర్ పేర్ ఆఫ్ యాంగిల్స్ అంటాం. ప్లీజ్ నోట్ దిస్. ఓకే, సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద అడ్జసెంట్ యాంగిల్స్, సమ్ ఆఫ్ ద టూ అడ్జసెంట్ యాంగిల్స్ కనుక 180 degrees అయితే then that pair of angles are called linear pair of angles. Understood? When a ray stands on a straight line, the sum of the adjacent angles is 180 degrees. Please note this. Here I have a straight line and a ray is standing on this, right? And sum of these two angles is 180 degrees, right? So when a ray stands on a straight line, the sum of the adjacent angles is 180 degrees. Okay, it means I can say that the angle on a straight line is 180 degrees. That angle is called straight angle, right? Here if you observe, O is the origin, O is the starting point for ray OA, right? And ray OB also. If you observe the angle between these two rays, we said that that angle is called straight angle and angle O is 180 degrees, right? What it is saying, sum of the angles formed on a straight line at a point is 180 degrees. It means from this figure you can say that this is the straight line we have and this is the point, let me call this as point O, right? On this point, at this point on this straight line we have total angle equal to 180 degrees. It means angle 1 plus angle 2 here is equal to 180 degrees. We can say that angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary angles, and we can also say that since these two angles are adjacent angles, we can say that these are a linear pair of angles, right? Now observe this figure. We have a straight line here, right? And this point, let me call this point as O. On this straight line, You have two angles, angle 1 and angle 2, right? Angle 1 plus angle 2, that is equal to 180 degrees, right? Sum of the angles formed on a straight line at a point is 180 degrees. Now, if you observe what happens to the other side, you have angle 3 plus angle 4 plus angle 5. These three angles put together, their sum is going to be 180 degrees. Now, if you observe at this point, if you take the whole of the angles, sum of the whole of the angles around the point, then you have 180 plus 180, that is equal to 360 degrees, right? Sum of the angles formed around a point, if you observe, that is 360 degrees, right? Sum of the all angles around a point is 360 degrees. Please note this. Sum of the angles formed on a straight line at a point is 180 degrees, and sum of all the angles around the point is 360 degrees. Got it? Let us solve a problem now. In the figure, AB is a straight line. Look at this figure, AB is a straight line, right? Find the value of x and also find angle AOC, right? That is shown here. Angle COD, that is given here. And angle BOD, that is x, right? We know that sum of the angles formed on a straight line at a point is 180 degrees. Here the point is O, right? Sum of the angles formed on a straight line at a point is 180 degrees. It means the angles formed are angle AOC plus angle COD plus angle BOD, right? Their sum is equal to 180 degrees. Now, the angles are given, right? AOC, angle AOC is 3x plus 7. And angle COD is 2x minus 19, right? And angle BOD is x. Their sum is equal to 180 degrees. Now, let's simplify this expression. 3x plus 2x plus x. Let me write that. 3x plus 2x plus x plus 7 minus 19 equal to 180 degrees, right? Now 3x plus 2x plus x is 6x, and this is plus 7 minus 19. That can be written as minus 12, right? That is equal to 180 degrees. Now I can write this as 6x equal to 180 degrees plus 12 degrees. That is equal to 192 degrees. 6x equal to 192. It means x equal to 192 divided by 6. Right? X equal to 192 divided by 6 means 3 times 6 is 18. Let me write 3 here. You have 1 remaining. Means it is going to be 12. So 2. Right? So x is 32 degrees. X is 32 degrees. We found that. Now angle AOC is 3x plus 7, right? This is going to be 3 into 32 plus 7. 3 into 32 is 96, right? 330 is 90 and 3 2s 6. 96 plus 7 is 103 degrees. And angle COD is 2x minus 19, right? 2x minus 19, this can be written as 2 into 32 minus 19. That can be written as 64 minus 19, right? So this is equal to 45 degrees. Now the third one we already know, x equal to angle BOD equal to 32 degrees. Now look at this. Sum these three. 103 degrees plus 32 degrees plus 45 degrees. Are we going to get 180 or not? You check once. Okay, 103 plus 32, 105 plus 30, 135, 135 plus 45, that is 140 plus 40, that is equal to 180 degrees. This is verification purpose. You don't need to do this. Okay, so angle AOC is 103 degrees and angle COD is 45 degrees and angle BOD is 32 degrees. Got it? Let us observe this figure. We have two lines. AB is a line and CD is another line. They are intersecting at point O, right? AB and CD are two lines. They are intersecting at point O. Now, because of the intersection, they are forming four angles. Let me mark them. Angle 1, angle 2, angle 3 and angle 4, right? Now looking at that picture, can you say that what are linear pair of angles? Okay, the answer cheyadam kosam you should recall that when the sum of two adjacent angles is 180 degrees, then the pair of angles is called a linear pair of angles, right? Deen base cheskoni we can find what are the linear pair of angles. Okay, let me start with line AB. Let me call this as line AB, and from O there is a ray or arm starting, right? That is D, OD arm. And you have two angles, angle 1 and angle 2, right? These two are adjacent angles because they have one common point, that is O. The vertex is common for those two angles and the arm OD is also common. That's why these two are adjacent angles, right? And their sum is 180 degrees because they are on a line at one point, that is O, right? They are on a straight line at point O. Angle, sum of the angles on a straight line at a point is 180 degrees, right? For that reason, actually, these two are angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent angles. At the same time, they are 180. Their sum is 180 degrees. For that reason, you can say that they are a linear pair of angles. Shall we write now the pair? AOD is angle 1 and angle 2 is DOP, right? This is a linear pair of angles. Similarly, we can find another linear pair. For that, let me draw line AB again, right? From point O, I have a ray starting from O and that is OC, right? Now look at these angles. This is angle 4 and this is angle 3, right? Their sum is also equal to 180 degrees and they are adjacent angles, right? It means angle AOC and angle BOC. These two are a linear pair of angles. Now let's look at another possible combination. Now let me take line CD and let me draw ray OA, right? You have angle 4 here and angle 1 here. Angle 4 and angle 1, their sum is also 180 degrees, and since they are starting from O, that is the common vertex, and OA is the common arm, I can say that these are a linear pair of angles, right? Let's write that. Angle AOD and angle AOC, this is a linear pair of angles, right? Now we can draw another figure, that is line CD. From O we have OB ray, right? The angles are 2 and 3, right? Their sum is also equal to 180 degrees and they are adjacent angles. For that reason, it is going to be angle BOC and angle BOD. This is another linear pair of angles. Understood the concept? Now let's look at this figure. I have line PQ and I have line RS, right? These two are intersecting at point O and making four angles A, B, C and D, right? Now looking at this picture, can you identify the angles that have common vertex but no common arms? Right? Ala annappudu, this is one angle, right? This is angle D. This has got two arms, right? Another angle, that is angle B, that also has got two arms, right? These have common vertex but no common arms. This is one combination possible. Other combination is I have this is angle A and this is angle C, right? These two angles are also having common vertex but no common arms, right? Let us write that. If you observe this, angle POS and angle ROQ are opposite angles, right? And they have same vertex but no common arms. Okay, for that reason you can say that these two angles are vertically opposite angles or vertical angles. This is the definition of vertical angles or vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles avalante they should have common vertex but they should not have common arms, right? Alanti angles nemantam vertically opposite angles antam. Similarly, for this case, if you observe, you see that angle POR and angle SOQ, these two are opposite angles, right? And they have same vertex but no common arms, right? For that reason, these two angles are called vertically opposite angles or vertical angles. You understood the definition of vertically opposite angles? If you have two lines intersecting, then this one and this one are vertically opposite angles. This one and this one are also a pair of vertically opposite angles. Got it? Let us observe this figure. You have two lines, right? PQ is a line and RS is another line. They are intersecting at point O, right? And they are forming two pairs of vertically opposite angles. Look at this. This angle and this angle. These two are vertically opposite angles, right? Let me mark this as another pair of vertical angles, right? Now there is a theorem on vertically opposite angles. It states that if two lines intersect each other, then the pairs of vertically opposite angles thus formed are equal. If I call this as angle 1, and let's say this is angle 2, these two are equal as per the theorem. And this one, if I call this as angle 3 and this one as angle 4, they are also equal. That's what the theorem is saying. If two lines intersect each other, then the pairs of vertically opposite angles thus formed are equal. Okay, ఈ theorem ని prove చేయాలంటే కనుక what we have to prove? We have to show that angle POS is equal to angle ROQ. POS ఏంటి? Angle 1. Angle 1 is equal to angle 2 అని చూపించాలి. And angle 3 is equal to angle 4 అని చూపించాలి. That is angle POR is equal to angle SOQ. Okay? అది ఎలా చూపిస్తామంటే, this is fairly simple. Let's derive the proof for this particular theorem. Observe this. Ray OR is standing on line PQ, right? Let me draw line PQ, right? This is line PQ, and from point O you have a ray, that is OR, right? There are two angles on this line, right? These angles, I'm calling this as angle 3 and angle 2, right? Their sum is equal to 180 degrees. Enduku? When a ray stands on a straight line, then the sum of adjacent angles is 180 degrees. As per this, angle POR, that is angle 3, plus angle ROQ, that is angle 2, their sum is equal to 180 degrees. Right? Now, look at this. Ray OP is standing on line RS, right? I have line RS here. OP is standing, right? Meaning the angle 3 is here and angle 1 is here. Their sum also has to be equal to 180 degrees for this reason, because they are adjacent angles and they are on a straight line, right? Let me say that this is P, right? So angle POR plus angle POS is equal to 180 degrees, right? Now you see this is 180 degrees. Let me write that angle POR plus angle ROQ equal to 180 degrees equal to angle POR plus angle POS, right? I am equating these two. Now you observe this angle POR plus angle ROQ is equal to angle POR plus angle POS, right? ఇక్కడ POR ఉంది, ఇక్కడ POR ఉంది, ఇటు పక్క తీసుకొచ్చాం అనుకోండి, angle POR minus angle POR plus angle ROQ equal to angle POS, right? ఈ POR minus POR cancel అయిపోతే what you have is angle ROQ, that is equal to angle POS, right? Is this what we wanted to prove? First part is done, right? Angle POS is equal to angle ROQ. Now let's try to prove that angle POR is equal to angle SOQ. For that, you observe this. Ray OS is standing on PQ, right? Let me draw separately. Okay, this is our line PQ and you have OS is standing on that, right? These are the two angles. These two angles sum is 180 degrees. Let's write that. It means angle POS plus angle SOQ is equal to 180 degrees, right? Now you take another combination, that is ray OP is standing on line RS. You see line RS is here and OP is standing like this, right? Now, as per this particular statement, we can say that angle POR plus angle POS is equal to 180 degrees. Now let's equate these two. It means angle POR plus angle SOQ is equal to angle POR plus angle POS, right? Let me take this POR to the other side. Angle POR plus angle SOQ minus angle POR is equal to angle POS, right? ఈ minus POR and plus POR cancel చేసేద్దాం. So that what you have is angle SOQ is equal to angle POS, right? We have proved this, right? Angle SOQ equal to angle POS. So we have proved both. Then it means that when two lines intersect with each other, then the pairs of vertically opposite angles formed are equal. Understood? Let us solve a problem now. In the figure, PQ and RS are the lines, they intersect at O. If angle POR is to angle ROQ is equal to 5:7, then find the angles, all the angles, right? Here you have two lines intersecting, PQ and RS. Lines are intersecting at point O and they are making 4 angles, right? And we are asked to find the values of all these angles. Okay. Now, to answer this question, we need to recall two statements we have learnt already. When a ray stands on a straight line, then the sum of adjacent angles is 180 degrees. This is one statement you have to remember. And the second one is a theorem. If two lines intersect with each other, then the pairs of vertically opposite angles thus formed are equal. Okay. Now look at this. This one and this one. These two are vertically opposite angles, right? And they are equal. This one and this one are equal. Understood? As per this theorem, this one and this one are equal. This one and this one are equal. Okay. Now, to begin with, let's take this ratio given. Angle POR is to angle ROQ, right? Let me write this as POR by angle ROQ is 5 by 7, right? Let me write it as 5x by 7x. Okay, so angle POR divided by angle ROQ is going to be 5x by 7x, right? If you observe this, I have PQ line, right? This is PQ line and I have R ray here and this is the angle, this is another angle, right? Their sum is equal to 180 degrees. This angle is angle POR, right? It means, let me say that angle POR plus angle ROQ is equal to 180 degrees as per this statement, right? Now we have seen that angle POR divided by angle ROQ equal to 5 by 7, that we have written it as 5x and 7x, right? 5x plus 7x equal to 180 degrees. It means 12x equal to 180 degrees, right? Let me say that x equal to 180 divided by 12, that is equal to 15 degrees. X is 15 degrees. Angle POR, that is equal to 5x equal to 5 into 15. This is going to be 75 degrees. Angle POR anta 75 degrees, right? So that is equal to angle SOQ, right? Because they are vertically opposite angles. So let me write that angle SOQ is also equal to 75 degrees. The next one is angle ROQ is 7x, right? Angle ROQ is equal to 7x. It means it is going to be 7 times 15, right? This is going to be 105 degrees. Let me write that ROQ is 105 degrees. So since POS is vertical opposite angle, that is also going to be 105 degrees. Let's write that angle POS is equal to 105 degrees. You got it? 75, 75, 105, 105. When you sum all these four, you are going to get 360 degrees. Sum of the angles, all the angles around a point is 360 degrees, right? You are going to get that. Understood how to solve this problem?